looks funny, but welcome to Party of Two, where a married couple takes on a world of gods and monsters. And Weston, I need you to fix my camera, or I'm going to be like so annoyed the whole time. Because I didn't see it beforehand. Oh, and now it's down. And is this the Goldilocks moment? Not really. It's okay. We'll fix it in a minute. Anyway, welcome to tonight's episode of Party of Two. We are so excited to be here because we are going into the Boneyard tonight. You should be very afraid and very excited. We have a couple of announcements before we get started with tonight's episode or session or whatever you want to call it. It's where a bunch of adults just sit around and play make-believe for 3 hours. It's fantastic.
That's how when I try and explain, people are like, well, what is it? It's like, remember when you were a kid and you played make-believe? It's like that, but there's enough rules so you don't fight.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it, actually.
Because you know when you're a kid, you play make-believe, but at least for us, our boys, it's like, I hit you with my blaster. Yeah, well, I have a blaster shield. Well, I've got a super blaster.
Or Michael just full up is like, no, you didn't hit me.
Yeah.
And we're like, dude, that's not, no, you can't play that way. Anyway, so this week and next week are going to be kind of our last hurrahs with the amazing and wonderful couple from Tomes of the Chaos Bard, Abby and David. I've never asked you whether or not you prefer Dave or David.
I don't care. It really doesn't matter to me.
No.
Okay. Well, that you got both in that moment. That was pretty awesome.
I'll accept it.
Go ahead and do a quick introduction for Tomes of the Chaos Bard, who you guys are, and what your show is that we're like hijacking you from for the last couple weeks.
So we are a all ages, family-friendly actual play podcast with original songs and music. We follow Solemn, the Chaos Bard, and his sidekick Quill follow a group of heroes, RPCs, to tell their stories.
And it's wonderful and amazing. You guys had an episode that dropped last week, right?
Correct.
Yes.
And you'll have another one dropped next week.
Yes.
Okay.
We are a bi-weekly podcast so that we can keep up and give the highest quality we can.
I get that.
And to not overwhelm ourselves.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially our editors.
Yes.
Truth. I just choose not to edit anything that we do.
And that works. But just because we're family friendly doesn't mean we're not entertaining for parents as well. We are not just kid friendly. We are the entire family.
Yeah, this isn't a carnival ride kind of game. This is 100% like real topics, real things that you're issuing, but that's clean language, no sexual content or graphic violence or anything like that. You guys are great to have kids listen to it and adults and enjoy it. Deeply.
Our main goal was that families could make memories together while they listen.
Aww. That's so sweet. Okay. You're like, and I will stop. You can find all of Tomes of the Chaos Bards podcast episodes on all of the major podcasting platforms. And
YouTube.
And the U of the tube, but it's not recorded.
They're just audiograms.
Yeah,
it's just audio.
If you just want to stare at our logo for an hour.
Yeah.
I'm trying to I want you guys to do it live. Eventually you guys are going to do it live.
We'll do a mailbag or maybe a one-shot live.
You should do like once a month you should do a live one-shot. Like
I don't know if we could. We record once a month,
so you do like the 1 week, and then like 2 weeks later you do the one shot.
Yeah, we do have some Chaos Chronicles that we could probably do live with some friends. Yeah,
that would be fun. I like it. Do it. Okay. Sorry. I just want everybody to do everything live.
Hayley likes live.
I love live. I think it's so much fun, especially in this world and day and age when we're like all separated from each other for a plethora of reasons. True. I think lives are fun.
And see, I like hiding my errors through editing.
Yeah.
So I like podcasts.
Yeah, I will be honest. The few podcast actual plays that I've done have been kind of nice because I didn't have to do all of this. Mm-hmm. Which all of this takes about 2 hours. So,
Goodness.
Oh,
yeah.
goodness.
You're not supposed to
I
have that.
also
I'm sorry.
love
I just
podcasting because you can just listen whenever you want.
I know,
love
that's
too.
fun too. That's fun too. So we have a couple of announcements for our wonderful little show. This one that we're currently watching. What is with me tonight? So tomorrow I am going to be hanging out. I know the ADHD is pretty strong tonight.
The ADHD is strong with this one.
I know, right? But I'm going to be hanging out tomorrow with the Tired DM on their Twitter. Their Twitch channel.
Isn't that all of them?
Yes, all
The
of us are the tired
tired
GMs. But I'm going to be hanging out with him. He is doing a kind of charity stream to help with some financial situations for his family. Their oldest son was recently diagnosed with autism, and the treatment that they would like to see him get into is not covered by insurance and is an experimental thing, so it's not even covered officially by the FDA. So he is doing a special thing, and I'm going to get on and we're going to talk about TTRPGs and our venture into the world of TTRPGs, which was because of our oldest son who is also autistic. So it's going to be a really fun conversation, and that's going to be 11:30 Mountain Daylight Time, AM, not PM. AM.
AM.
AM. And I will be posting. We'll be hosting that, of course, here on this channel. But if you want to donate anything, you will have to go head over to his. I'll be donating. I'll be uploading all of the information on like my Twitter and the socials, all of the socials.
All the clicky clicks.
All the clicky click places that you can clicky click things. So that is happening.
All the pretty socials.
I know, all of them. And then on May 6th, I am also, this is like all Hayley's announcements. I am going to be appearing on
I will be
show.
watching our children during all of these.
Yes, he is the unsung hero of Party of Two, because I've kind of become the face of the show. On May 6th, I'm going to be appearing as a guest on Parliament of Owls, which is a Pathfinder 2nd Edition actual play with Q times. And that's Queue.
Uh-huh.
Queue.
Q-U-E.
It is a really big podcast for Pathfinder. If you've never checked them out, they are awesome. You can find them on Twitch. It is a live show. They have 4 shows a week, and I get to be on the really cool one that's on Friday night. So that's going to be May 6th, and then May 13th. This is an us announcement.
Yes.
But we are doing a one-shot in the world of Valitas. Weston, do you want to explain?
This just gets me nervous every time. So Valitas is the new homebrew world that I am working on and building. It is a world of chaos and order, not so much good and evil. And it is a world of swirling chaos, miasmas, and high order days, where time is almost measured less in weather and more in the give and flow of chaos and order, which affects not only the world, but also our players. It's a world designed to reflect the experiences and struggles of those who deal with mental health struggles and those who support them. So we are going to be doing our first foray into this world through a one-shot. That is actually going to be a little bit of backstory on some of on our main characters. I am looking for people who are interested in being part of that. So if you are interested in being a guest star on that one shot, let me know. Reach out to us, and I will. I'll be taking applications.
Oh, we're taking applications. Well, we're gonna have to discuss how many people are gonna be on, because 2 spots already filled.
They did?
Yeah.
You didn't tell me that.
Yeah, I did. Anyway, so
Okay.
we'll discuss that later. But it is going to actually be a charity stream as well. We're going to be picking a charity that has to do with suicide prevention and mental health awareness, with my history with depression and suicidal ideation. We felt like that was kind of the best
Yes.
type of charity to do, because it's our 1-year Twitch live anniversary.
Yes.
There's a lot of things happening. That's why we're doing the stream. That's why we're doing the charity, is to celebrate our 1-year anniversary here live on Twitch. So come hang out with us on that day. Donate what you can. There's going to be some really fun things that you can do to affect the game and the players. And it's in D&D. It's a D&D 5e, so we have officially made the foray.
I've been reading books.
We got all the books from the library.
All right.
Cool. I think that
I
is
think that's all.
everything. Enjoy tonight. Have fun. Remember that you can use channel points to give hero points to our players. Give me a villain point. Yes, they may need.
Weston and I need them.
Yeah. Yeah, true that.
And as the DM knowing, or the GM knowing a little bit about what's going to be happening tonight, you guys probably are going to want to give them hero points. So with that, Weston, Maestro,
Let's begin tonight's episode of Untitled Chapter.
our Welcome back. Last time on Party of Two, our band of intrepid adventurers were in a interesting kind of way moment in their journey. They went to the library again, and Az was looking for some particular spells and some arcane knowledge that the library held. And while there, our wonderful dwarf, who has a knack for getting into trouble, managed to call all of the librarians down upon him, and he was kicked out of the library for a month. Poor Flinty. No more picture books for you. Our group went back to the inn and had a wonderful conversation with the 1,000-year-old wizard, who is the leader of the City of Promise, about what they needed to do and how they were going to be getting into the Boneyard to start their journey to try and hopefully get to Anna. Anna did receive the notification from Az that, of how to do the gate and how to turn it on, and she was basically lost in the dark without a flashlight. She has no idea what to do. So hopefully Az manages to get that information to her in a better way at some point. Otherwise, this journey is going to be a short one.
Well, we tried.
Yep.
Sorry, Anna.
You're like, sorry, you're stuck there. It's Citadel and Farak. Have fun. The Morrigan showed up, who is a psychopath of Pharasma, a servant.
We call her Morgan.
Yes, we call her Morgan. The GM apparently can't remember that ever. Apologize.
No, you're good.
And she is going with them on their journey as their guide to help them through the Boneyard safely, and to get to Anna, hopefully, as fast as possible. The very end of the session, our group was transported through a gate into the Boneyard itself, having experienced the magical transfer from the City of Promise into the Boneyard. And that is where we will pick up. As you all come out of the sensation of being pulled from one place to another, where it felt like your soul was being ripped apart and put back together, I do need all of you to make a fortitude save for me, please.
Oh, jeez. Okay, first roll. Zach, I think that's cocked.
I can't tell from the single.
It
If
looks
you think it's
as
cocked,
it's
it's probably cocked.
Get my calculator out.
Okay, so this is fortitude.
Uh-huh.
Okay, how?
22.
30.
Okay, so we got 30 or 22.
26.
26. Okay.
Luckily, I have a really high fortitude.
I do
Yes.
too. I just rolled really low.
Yes.
You're like, unfortunately. So, Anna, or Anna, you're not Anna. Your name is Az.
I'm Az.
Wait, what was that, Abby?
Also, I rolled a 9,
Oh, you're
but I have a plus 17.
You're like, so we're good. It's fine.
Yeah, we're good.
So Clara and Az, you both kind of feel everything meld slowly back into yourself, and you feel a little bit sick, but nothing like major. Flint,
Slight burp.
you, as everything kind of comes back together and correlates back into your body, you feel this wrongness about how it came back together. And you are now sickened 1. So, your options with sickened 1 is you can go force yourself to throw up, or
Taking a -1 on everything.
take a -1 until it wears off in an hour. So those are your choices.
Yeah, it's -1 on everything.
Everything.
On everything.
Yeah.
I think just because of the mess it would make, he would probably try and hold it in. Just,
Okay.
It may be best just to get it out.
Nope. I'm fine.
And Lamond looks over at you and says, Flinty, are you okay?
Yeah, just I don't think that food is sitting well with me. No offense, Clara. No offense.
I don't think it has anything to do with my food, but with the little swirly vortex we just went through.
Yeah, I
He's-
forgot. I forgot to warn you all that it is not a pleasant experience coming through the gate.
Excuse me.
Get it out there, Flinty.
I just pat his back. Pat.
Okay, it's okay.
Okay.
All right, the Morgan turns and looks at the little group and then motions her hand outward and says, "Welcome to the Boneyard." What you see around you, and Weston, if you could bring up the picture, is a vast network of what seem to be roads entirely made out of bone. But the thing that is not depicted in this image is the fog. Everything that you see is covered with a fog and mist that slightly obscure clarity. So you see general shapes, and you have an idea of what you're looking at, but it's very difficult to tell completely. High above you in the sky is a moon that looks slightly wrong. It is not quite white, and it is not quite dark. It is a combination, a swirling mass of lightness and darkness, leaving the entire atmosphere shaded and shadowed. You're standing at a huge structure. The structure itself is arched doorways and guard stations all together, and walking around in and through all of the pathways, you see creatures that are not human and also not human either. Many skeletal figures are walking around, and you hear the clinking and clanking of their bones against armor and metal. There are a few giant ravens that are armored, their beaks covered in a metallic stain that look as if they're almost grown that way. Morgan stands and watches as you all kind of take this in, as one of those giant birds comes over to stand beside the Morgan. She bows deeply to him and
We
stays there.
follow suit, or at least Clara follows suit.
Right.
Lamont does as well. He bows deeply. What are you doing?
Az kind of takes it all in around him.
Are you going to bow, or are you not going to bow?
He will bow.
Okay.
Do I need to do a performance check this time?
No, no, you don't have to.
In the past, you made
I've
me
made
do that
him
for
do
the
performance
domino a
checks.
lot.
Because
I remember, yeah.
you're not very good at it. The figure ahead looks at you. You see, he, she, they. There's no real gender that you can see. They're very, very thick and wide, and you can see the wings as they move slightly. The muscle is incredibly powerful, and you get the feeling that this creature could take you out in like a half a second. Morgan stands up, and that is the signal for all of you. If you would like to, you can also stand at this point.
Okay.
But
Stand up.
Az will stand.
she says, the Morgan says to this individual, she says, Barzak, I bring travelers blessed by Pharasma. They are of no harm to the Boneyard nor to the paths of the dead. We are here to travel. May we, please, with your permission, be given marks of passage through the Boneyard. You get the sense that this is an
Sorry, we lost.
Sorry, we
sound
lost.
for
We lost the microphones for a second. You get the sense that this is highly unusual. This is not a normal situation. They look at you as a group, and in your mind, you hear, why?
Kind of just look at Az.
As
I look at Lamont.
as looks at the Morgan, is she like seem to be waiting for us?
Mm-hmm. She's waiting for you, kind of as a group, to decide what to say back to him.
He'll look back at the party there, kind of checking, and then he's gonna start to step forward.
Lamont does give you a nod, like that is the correct order that we should do things.
And so Az will take just a couple steps forward, so he just gets just in front or beside the Morgan, not wanting to presume. And he will bow once again. Great Bazak, I am here at the request of the lady on a mission to retrieve one of her champions who lies at the location of another gate to this realm. And so we seek fair passage.
There is a pregnant pause that is very tense. And you can almost see in his beady raven eyes, there's something being weighed and something being measured. I would like you all to give me a diplomacy check, please.
Ooh, I'm good at those.
Oh no.
I'm using a hero point.
Okay, first hero point of the evening.
Oh yes, hero point.
That
Yes,
was
please.
a
Okay.
critical fail.
So did I.
no.
Yeah,
Okay.
I failed too.
33 from Az.
Okay, so Az has a 33. Lamond failed it.
Apparently, something's not good for Flinty right now.
So tonight we are going to need a lot of hero points for our viewers, so please feel free to be gracious with your channel points.
Yeah, what a waste of a hero point. I just re-roll what I just rolled.
No!
Great.
Flinty.
Don't you love that? Flinty?
Okay, so we have a failure. Well, did you get less than...
That's a 26 for me.
Okay, so you just reached that. Flint, what was yours?
I rolled another one.
Oh dear.
Ooh,
Okay.
double crit.
All right then.
So it's a waste of a
Oh,
hero
it's a failure.
point.
It's just a failure.
It's just a
So we got
failure.
failure and 2 succeeds and 2 failures.
We have 2 succeeds and 2 failures.
Wait, Lamont failed too?
Yes, he did. He
Oh,
rolled
good.
a 4.
No.
I'm not alone.
Yeah, he rolled a 4. In your minds, you hear and feel the brush of his words just like rake through your brains. And he says, "Where?"
The gate lies currently in an abandoned temple to the god. Why am I forgetting? Erodin. That lies below what is currently known as Citadel Emfarak in Cheliax. There are deeds there that oppose the lady and interrupt the river. It is our mission to halt these, and at the moment, we are in need of our champion.
As singularly, I want you to roll a diplomacy for me.
In Pathfinder, is there a way to assist? Like if I'm an expert?
Kind of.
There is, if she rolls, I get that plus, but the GM's got to decide if you can.
In this instance, because he's kind of presented himself as a leader, I'm going to say no.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Apparently doesn't matter.
That's a 19. I rolled two 18s and a 19 tonight.
Good job.
That is a 34.
Good. We know who's going to survive this.
Just wait till we get to combat.
Oh, no.
Let's not go there. I really don't want to be responsible for a bunch of PC's deaths.
We'll never forgive you.
The whole campaign starts over again with just Anna in
Citadel and Faraz. She's like, WTF, you guys. Faraz was like, sorry, your friends suck.
What? Haley's like, oh, now I lost my thought. Dang it.
When you think it again, you can say it again.
Yeah, 34 though.
So we got a 34. Okay. He pulls out from within the reaches of the feathers that are covering his body. He kind of like pulls back with this wing that you didn't see before, but there's like a hand that's like intermingled with all of the feathers. So he's able to reach back and he grabs this long key that, hold on a second.
That's your phone. Or
It's my phone?
A phone was playing our show.
Okay, sorry. We just, both Weston and I could hear something weird, so we had to like figure out what
I was hearing a little something too.
Okay,
I just
something
didn't know if it
was-
was the background.
Something was like, hold on, my camera's not being funny. Go!
Right in the moment of intense.
Right in the moment when it's super intense. Reaches back into his feathers and pulls out what looks like a giant key with like a master key, like a skeleton key. Very, very long and pointed, and the ends kind of curl in to make the teeth of the key itself. But you all notice pretty quickly that it is made out of bone. And he puts it in front, and he looks at Az and says, again, in his mind, touch. And he presents it.
Az will reach out and touch the key.
As soon as you touch it, you feel a flood of magical energy just straight over your body. And on the inside left wrist, you have a burning sensation. I want you to give me a constitution save. Fortitude save, sorry.
Fortitude.
Okay, there. Now we start into our lower. Couldn't keep those up forever. Okay, so that's 7. That is a 22.
Okay. You look and you see there is a brand that has been branded into your skin there. Oof. It is the shape of the Surcease of Sorrows, which is the key, the giant key.
Wow.
And that will be your passage. It'll be your kind of like your note of passage as you guys go through the Boneyard. However, because of this damage from the burn itself, you are going to take a -1 to saves for the next hour.
Jeez.
Ooh.
Okay.
The Boneyard is not a joke. Okay.
No joke.
Morgan once again bows deeply and with hand over her chest says, thank you, master and keeper of the paths. And as soon as she stands back up, he turns, they turn, and walk away. She turns to all of you and says, okay. You do not understand the level of blessing you have here. Do not squander it. Do not go off of the path. That mark as is the only thing that will keep you from being lost in the mist. Once lost, you will never find your way back.
Oh. Does anyone have a rope so you could tie yourselves to me?
Lamond reaches back into a small bag and says, I didn't think to bring a rope with the rations.
Flinty, do you have adventures?
You guys all should have adventurers kits.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, then yes.
Then yes.
I'm like, I'm sure I do.
You're like, I think so. I don't know.
I pull out some rope.
There we go. Oh, even I do have some.
Yeah, I'm like, you should have some too. Okay. So are you guys going to all tie yourselves together?
Yes, we are tying ourselves to Az.
Okay. All right. Are you guys all tying yourselves to Az, or are you tying yourselves like in a line together?
I think we'll do a line, but Az will like be at the front of the.
Okay.
Lead us on, master.
All right. And Lamond is going to take up the rear, and he says to you, just in case, if we need some protection on the back end, we
yes.
will. And Morgan nods and in agreement, and
Yes,
just
protect my hind end. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
are we ready?
I'll be the one behind Az.
I will be in the middle.
All right, so marching order is Morgan, Az, Flinty,
No, Clara.
no, Clara, Flinty, and Lamont.
So we got the two squishy mages on the outsides.
That's great. It's a great idea. It's fantastic. Well, Morgan's not squishy.
No, sure. She's on the front. Sure,
Yeah,
on
she's
the
not
front.
squishy.
And I'm right behind you. I could take some hits.
That's true.
If they're not surprise hits.
You just gotta run faster. That's all.
How do you escape? How do you escape a bear? Run faster than your partner.
As we look down at the thing, look back at where the guardian or the big Barzak left. Turn to Morgan. I think Anna's going to be jealous. She's the worshipper of Pharasma, and I get to meet all the cool people.
Morgan does kind of giggle at that. Yeah. You're probably right. Well, you never know. She may be invited back to the Boneyard at some time.
At this, you see Az kind of twitch. And hopefully, if so, it's in the same way we are.
I have a feeling as a champion of Pharasma, if she is brought here, it will be to fanfare and quite a large circumstance.
I mean, via portal is what I mean. If she visits, I hope it's via portal and not due to unfortunate circumstances. That is what I'm saying.
Yes, one can only hope.
Well, he looks around. Where are we going?
You all begin your trek through the paths of the dead. So,
Right. Where are we going?
where are we going? Okay, so here, turn the music down a little bit. So they are called the Dead Roads, and they are a network of paths through the Boneyard with way stations every once in a while. That is where you will need the Morrigan the most. As you walk, she begins to kind of explain how the Boneyard itself works. And as you walk, you see people walking on the dead roads. Some seem physical, like you could reach out and touch them. Some are transparent, as if they are spirit. And there are many psychopops walking around. Now, because of Morgan's presence in your group, you're not being stopped, but you see the psychopops, the skeletons, like the skeletal creatures, and the almost monstrous like individuals. You can tell they're psychopops because they all have masks, eyeless human masks. So behind monstrosity of horns and scales and malformations, there are these eyeless masks on their faces. They stop and question many of the individuals that are on the dead roads, but they never stop and question you.
As saying this, he is going to reach into his pocket and he's going to pull out his mask of mercy.
Mm-hmm.
And put it on his face. Just to kind of
Okay.
blend it a little, although it's like half white, half black.
Mm-hmm. It looks nothing like the psychopops masks.
But so it's like,
the psychopops, you guys realize, are the couriers, the servants, the workers, the worker bees of the Boneyard.
they're kind of like the Reapers in Supernatural.
Mm-hmm.
Like how there's a whole ton of them that are out just helping
but
with the souls.
they are not human. They were never human. They were created specifically for the purpose of helping to curry souls, but they were none of them were created from
Humans.
From a human figure.
Oh, hey, are you lost? Come here. Let's lead you the right way.
Flinty, don't touch.
Yes.
Hands to yourself.
Okay, so as you walk, you feel a drain on your systems. Every step, the longer you're moving, gets more and more difficult. Lamond shouts kind of from the back up to the Morgan. I know a lot of things, but I've never been to the Boneyard before. And Morgan stops and turns and kind of looks at him. And she's like, yes.
So is this little kid yelling from the back seat?
Kind of, a
I
little
think-
bit.
Yeah.
Lamont comes trucking up and kind of pulls on you, Flint.
Yeah, the rope kind of
The rope kind of starts to curve around, and he gets like next to the Morgan and says, "So, what's happening? Is anyone else feeling just tired, or is
Feels
it
like
just
we're
me?"
trucking through a swamp, but draining on my soul.
Okay,
Oh.
yes.
As
Good, it's not just me.
as a cleric, might I know something?
Give me a religion check.
I figured it was just me losing my lunch earlier, but thought it was coming back. Oh,
I think it's 12. I can't tell if this is cocked.
You could no, I don't think it was cocked. I think it's
12. Then, if that is, then that is a 26.
26. Okay. You would have a recollection through readings about the Boneyard itself, especially from a couple of those books that you looked at in the library, that the atmosphere itself is made up of like spiritual energy. And so it is going to be taxing on any physical presence that's in the actual space, because the energy is designed for spirits, not for a physical body.
It's like walking
Like a
through
human.
like thicker air.
Yeah. Like how you can imagine like Mars would be. Like that kind of thing. Morgan,
Wouldn't Mars have thinner?
whatever. Okay, Mercury. There you go. Go closer to the sun. Or Venus. No, is Venus too close? Okay, we're going to stop with
Just
that.
stop.
I told you ADHD really bad today. So the Morgan does say to you, I don't experience the same thing that you will, but we will need to rest every day for at least a normal human resting time.
The atmosphere here, and I start to explain a little bit to them what's happening, especially to Lamont, because he's magic guy. He'll get what it is,
and
just
old.
kind of the way that the
You blank out. I only understand bits and pieces.
the condensity of the magical particles that make up, and it starts going on like that, like very
Starts talking physics.
Starts talking magic physics with him, kind of explain the phenomenon that they're experiencing.
Mm-hmm. So, the longer you guys go without taking a rest, the higher probability that you will be drained. 1.
Ooh.
So,
What does that
Let
mean
me-
for us?
let me
non-Pathfinders?
explain what drained is. Hold on, I've got to go find it so I can read it so I don't say it wrong.
Do you want me to
There it is. Nope. Okay.
go ahead?
You take a status penalty equal to your drained value on constitution-based checks, such as fortitude saves. Lose hit points equal to your level times the drained value, and your maximum hit points are reduced by the same amount. When you regain hit points by resting for 8 hours, your drained value is reduced by 1, but you don't immediately recover the lost hit points.
So we go down, since we're like level 9,
You guys would go down
our
18.
max hit points would go down by 9,
Or 9, yeah.
and then we would lose 9 hit points. And all of our constitution-based saves are down by
Down
1.
by 1.
Whew, that'll add up quick.
It does add up quick.
does.
Drain 2 is like
Drain 2
half your life's gone.
Yeah, jeez.
We've had a couple
Okay.
of fights where we've had
drained
characters that
4
were
is
drained too.
dead.
That is. Okay, so
But we
you will need to rest. For every 8 hours awake, you will need to spend at least 7 asleep.
how long have we been walking?
Probably 3 hours at this point.
Well, we still have plenty to go before it is time to rest then.
Yes, and she points into the distance. You see a giant spire that's poking up through the fog and the mist. It is shining and quite beautiful. It seems to reflect any and all light that is created in this space itself. And it's reflecting it back down onto the dead paths or the dead roads. And she says that is Pharasma's palace at the center of the Boneyard. That is where all the gates come to that are not connected to way stations. Your gate that we believe your Anna is in is not connected to a way station, and it will be at the palace. Now, please note, as we move through the dead roads, there may be individuals who are attracted to you. Possibly people you know, possibly people that have a familial connection, or someone that is attracted to the energy that you bring into the realm itself. Do not interact with them. They are not here for you. They are here for themselves. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Yes.
Leave them alone.
Yes.
We can't speak with them.
I would highly suggest not. And she turns around and keeps walking. So by the time you guys get to the next way station, it has been about 7 hours of walking in this semi-gloom, fogged state. And as one thing I do want to note, not as comical as Lord of the Rings when Gimli and Legolas and Aragorn are going through the cave where the things kept coming up and Gimli kept blowing on them. You know which scene I'm talking about?
Yes, I
With
do.
the souls. And he's so not as funny as that, but you do see in the mists that there seem to be hands, like you see them in your peripheries. There seems to be figures like reaching out, but when you turn to look at them, they're not there. Or they've retracted back into the mist themselves. So you never really get a good look at these figures, but they're there. And it's very unsettling. As you get closer to the way station itself, you can see the mist seems to dissipate a little bit from the sides. It's easier to kind of see around. It looks exactly like the other way station, large arched doorways and kind of the psychopop guards walking around. And as soon as the Morrigan gets up to it, she motions to you as to step forward.
Naz will step forward and show the mark upon his flesh. I've been marked by the beast.
You've been marked by the beast. Okay. The psychopop that is standing at guard there is a Katrina. It is a skeletal figure with clothing that is hanging limply off of the body, but it has a very lush, full head of black hair with very, very colorful flowers put around it, a bit like Day of the Dead.
Yes. I love these. I think these are so cool.
I don't think they're very cool. And it looks at your marking and looks at Morgan and nods and says, passage is given and safety is given. And it motions to the way station itself. Morgan kind of ushers you guys inside of the way station, and it's just a large room, and on the far side is what looks to be like little cubbies that are large enough that you could lay down in if you would like to, kind of like little beds. If you've ever seen those like Japanese sleep hotels, kind of like that. And space for, there's like weaponry on one side. It's kind of like a multi-purpose room. And it's just a large space. And Morgan says, I will leave you now, but I will return when it is time to continue. I have other things of which I must attend. And she just like disappears. Does her spider disappearing thing. And she's gone.
Well, what do you all think of that? That was...
Lamond's like, I don't like being here at all. I have never been here. I will never return. And he looks at you and he's like, as if it wasn't for you, we would not be here. So just know, we care very deeply. And then he kind of like goes over
You
it.
still haven't told me why.
What?
No one has told me why. Why do you care? Why did you guys even show up? It's like, I just realized that we've talked about how Mankare once wanted me for something, but we never talked about what it was.
Lamond sits down and pulls out his pack and starts pulling some rations out and like ripping into them. He's like ravenously hungry. He says, well, and he swallows. Lamond, I am Lamond. Mankare does not give reasons for everyone that he wishes to come to the island and to the City of Promise, but everyone has a specific place among the people if they choose it. But no one is forced to be here. Mankare must have seen something in you.
But he has not mentioned a specific reason.
Not directly to me, no.
Well, I was simply wondering. It was more of a curiosity.
He is a collector of the special, the rare, the unique, and any that he feels could help perfect the utopian society he's building.
A collector.
Mm-hmm.
He is a dragon. They have hordes.
That is true. He's a good dragon.
And you watch as Az kind of stiffens a little at that and kind of...
Not in a bad way. Lamond says. He's kind of like, he sees that you're uncomfortable and he's just like, not in a bad way. This is that maybe collector was a bad word. But he likes he's building. He has a vision, and you see Lamond kind of like get slightly like he doesn't know exactly how to fix what he just broke, so he's like just gibberishing, trying to fix it. Eventually he just stops talking and starts filling his mouth again.
Az goes and he finds, so Az pulls out, and he's got some rations too, and he kind of eats a little bit, not overly. He's missing a little bit of his appetite at the moment, and Az is just kind of go, well, I need to sleep because I need to be able to try and send another message to Anna, and I have to sleep to do that.
As the GM, I would also like to remind you that you did not bring enough food for the trip in its entirety because you were going to learn and have prepared the food one.
I do. I have it.
Okay, I just wanted to just as a reminder.
Nope.
Because I'm a nice GM and I'm not going to be super mean and make everybody just remember everything.
Nope, I've got create food in my spell lists already set up.
All starving. Okay.
Clara is just sitting on her bed with heads in her hands.
All two of them.
Just looking maybe a little bit overwhelmed with the whole situation. Just a little.
Okay.
Well,
Flint, what are you doing?
I think he's just getting ready for bed. Just gonna kick off his shoes and just lay down. Yeah, well, hopefully we get out of here soon. Do Do we need to keep watch or anything? Are we
I imagine not.
safe here?
Lamont kind of chuckles and he says, I don't think we need to worry. Did you see? Did you see the creature? Did you see what Az had to do to make sure we were safe?
Okay. He'll go to the closest bunk next to Az and sleep.
We did untie each other, right?
I don't know. Did you?
We do. We untie the rope that's connecting everyone. To
Okay.
Because I'm just imagining everyone sleeping and like the rope, is being stretched across the different bunks
That'd be really funny though.
until someone
okay.
has to go to the bathroom. in the
Little
middle of the
one
night.
said, roll over, roll over.
Yes. Oh my gosh. True to life.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. To find out if you all get a good night's sleep,
Az is going to.
Az is going to interrupt me. Yes.
Sorry. If it's kind of questionable, because I mean it's a weird place. These beds seem weird.
They're odd.
I believe that we, as an Anna, had found a sleeping, an item.
Well,
and
you
with the
had
hags-
you had the house
no with the
and the
with the hags. One of the things we brought back was a dream stone.
she has that.
She has okay.
Yeah,
I wasn't
she
sure.
has
I
that.
wasn't sure who had that in their inventory. Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty. Let me just double check her inventory.
I just
real
double
fast.
checked mine and I actually don't see it in there.
I'm
so I
pretty
think-
sure she has it. Let me
Alright,
just
cool.
double check.
Well then, never mind.
I know this is kind of silly, but can I choose to
Yeah, she has
fail?
Yeah, you can totally choose to fail.
You can choose not to go to sleep.
I mean, yeah, you can choose not to sleep if you want, or you can
I
choose
don't think she chooses not to sleep. She just
can't sleep.
struggles to sleep.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a pure
Because
neutral
of what?
plan.
This is a completely neutral plane.
And
Because
you're-
of what the Morgan said about not being able to speak to anyone that was close to us.
Okay. That is a fair choice. As Flint, if you would like to give me just give me a DC, or not DC, just give me a D20 roll.
Do you want me to roll to see if I critical fail?
Yeah.
anything?
Yeah. Actually, let's see if you get a nat one. on that.
what is this?
This is just a straight.
Oh my gosh! I totally did crit fail. Oh my gosh!
The universe heard you.
I shouldn't have.
You know your
Okay.
dice are connected to you.
I know.
I got
my gosh.
I got a 19.
Okay. So
I
as
got a 10.
okay, as you get the full
Seriously, I
7
shouldn't have
hours.
Said anything.
You should have just rolled one.
Should've-
And Flint, you get 6 hours, not 7. So you're not drained one, but you are exhausted.
-1 on all strength.
Yeah.
So exhausted 1.
Let me see. Oh, exhausted one's not on here. That sucks. But yeah, you get a -1 on your strength. Your strength checks or strength-based saving throws, things like that.
Okay.
Okay, and that'll last for the entire day.
So athletics, attack.
Yeah, so any of your attack bonuses, like your actual the dice gods give it for now. Seriously.
And they take it away.
Yes, they will. So so just basically do a -1 on all of your attacks if we get into a fight.
Okay.
Okay.
And then Clara.
And then Clara, you're drained. You're drained 1. So, that's going to be fun. So your hit points are down by 9. And then you have a -1 for your status rolls.
Fortitude
saves.
And, so
And
then 9 hit points.
your maximum hit points themselves are going to go down by 9. Right, let me just read that. So you lose. So you have like a permanent down by 9, and then a temporary down by 9. So in total, you're down by 18, right?
I added it to Path Builder and it did it.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Oh, yes, you're using Path Builder. Oh, it's so nice when it does that. Okay, yes. Just put it in Path Builder. They have all of the conditions, so it's perfect. Okay.
Oh, add condition. There it is.
Yeah, you can put exhausted in there, and it will automatically update your character sheet.
Then I will just do that.
So nice.
And I won't do any of that.
And you won't have to do anything. Oh, I should probably roll for Lamond. Hold on.
Exhaustion.
Oh, and Lamond is exhausted as well.
I imagine Lamond is asleep before any of us.
Probably, but
He's
he
like that
sleeps
guy
the
who
worst.
Just eats a whole ton of stuff, then lays out. And I imagine he's like the arm hanging off and snoring loud. Like that's what I envision with.
Yeah, but he's like an old person though, which
Yeah.
means that they don't sleep well, even though they fall asleep really fast.
He's up every couple of hours
has to
asking
go
where the
pee.
bathroom is.
Oh my gosh, he looks. You guys all wake up in the morning. He just looks at all of you and says, "Don't get old. It is not for. It is not for the weak." And he gets up and toddles off to go to the bathroom again.
Clara just doesn't really talk at all in the morning.
Yeah. So with a critical fail, you got absolutely no sleep
Yeah.
at all, and your emotional state's going to be really volatile because of that. So the Morgan eventually shows up. The cantina, or not cantina, the Katrina does, yes.
Can, as the moment that he wakes up and can once again try casting with extend spell, dream,
Yes.
like do that whole thing again, to attempt to do that.
Yes. Flint, yes.
Is it called fatigued and not exhaustion?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's called fatigue.
Okay, I was
Sorry.
like, I'm not finding
I can't find it.
exhaustion in here.
It's fatigued,
Okay.
sorry,
Got
yeah.
it.
It's
Am
exhausted
I
in D&D.
Yes.
am I also fatigued as a condition or just drained?
Just drained.
Okay.
That's worse.
Yeah, trust me, you don't want both.
I know I don't want both.
So yeah,
I have to ask.
My AC went down too?
Mhm.
Goodness.
Yep.
Ah.
I know, this is not a fun place to be, guys.
Ooh.
Jim, can I do something here? I want to know if you'll let me do this.
Okay.
It takes me 10. I can use points, and then I can get them back after 10 minutes. Can I use my ability to connect with that ancestor who was the teacher? That didn't work out so well. Maybe I'll try a different instructor in my past.
Okay.
Can I do extend spell? Come up with a teaching plan first,
Yeah,
then do dream image with the
Yeah.
extended length of time?
absolutely. Give me.
If we
give
could get
me-
Flinty to understand, she could.
Yeah, I'll
definitely-
practice on Flinty.
Yeah, no, that's actually a really good idea.
This is the chance, guys. I need some hero points if you can give them to me. 'Cause
Would this be a
you made it a performance
last time? Okay, so yeah, this will be a
Yeah.
performance check. Yes, if you have enough channel points to give him a hero point, do it because he has crap performance.
Well, now I'm have 10 minutes of being trained in it to make up this teaching plan. Okay, that's not as bad. Not as bad as last time. So that's a 13. And then if I'm trained in it, okay, that is a 28.
Okay. That now we're cooking. Okay. You do manage to kind of figure it out, and through a series of real quick practices on Flint, who does end up figuring it out on how to do it, and he kind of repeats it back and actually understands. You do manage to put together something that's kind of foolproof on how to open the gate.
Awesome. And then right after we finish that, I will do dream message with the extended spell using my last point there. To
Also, Synth Knight said he sent a hero point.
thank you.
Oh, you did? I'm sorry. I was not paying attention.
I'm gonna have more.
Oh,
of these,
you
so-
did. You did. I saw that. Awesome. Thank you so much, Synth Knight.
So then I'll do
Thank you.
Okay.
dream message with my extended spell to make it 10 minutes of a message to her, and try and teach that
Okay.
lesson plan that I came up with, which hopefully drops my DC significantly.
Hopefully. So yes.
Or is it going to be something different now that I don't have to perform it as well?
Well, you don't have to perform it because you figured it out. So you know what? Use what you think you need to, and then just tell me what you get.
Okay. I think because it's got the performance part figured out, it would probably just be my Arcana then.
Okay. That's fair.
And I am rolling good tonight. That's an 18 plus my Arcana of 14. That's a 32.
Yes. Okay.
Ooh.
Boom.
You
Mic drop.
Prepare your lesson plans ahead of time.
That is the lesson of today's show. You have everything laid out in such a wonderfully methodical way that as you send it through the spell, you just know. You're like, there's no way. There's
Nailed this.
no way she doesn't get this one. However, you won't know
Yes.
until she goes to sleep when she gets it.
I'm kind of always hoping like that we'd be off on sleep schedules. Like
You mean you'd be together on sleep together?
no, that like I would be go to sleep and then she like might be sleeping when I wake. So then it would come there like that are
okay.
because I'm in the Boneyard and she's in a place that's completely dark. That we'd be sleeping at weird times. Just I'm like, oh, dang it.
I can get that. Well, just all you know is at the moment she doesn't
Yeah.
have it. So
Well,
you'll find out as soon as she does, though.
Flint,
Thank
thank
heavens.
you very
Higher
much.
things.
Yeah, that was really interesting. I didn't realize gates worked that way.
Jeff,
Clara, did you hear that?
and then
Nice.
is Clara noticeably like off? Clara, you don't look so well. Did you sleep?
No.
Do you remember what the Morrigan can as kind of quick medicine check and kind of get what's
Yeah.
going on?
Yeah, give me a medicine check. Sorry, guys, I keep messing with my hair because it's driving me crazy.
Well, that's only a 2,
Oh,
but I've got 18 in medicine, so that's still a 20.
you can tell she's really tired.
So I can't tell like that there's some type of condition there.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
You would have had to have rolled much higher than that. Sorry. I mean, you could use the hero point that Synth Knight gave you to try again if you want. I'm just.
All right. Then Az won't know to use that restoration spell on her.
Okay. All right. The
Let me know if it gets bad. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. Here, let me carry some of your stuff.
I'm fine, Flinty. I can carry my things.
Oh, so
And she
Okay.
yawns.
As kind of pulls Flint to the side.
okay.
I have heard that when women say I'm fine, they're not. Have you heard this?
No.
I read it in a book once. But
Oh, okay.
let's just keep an eye on it, okay?
Oh, okay.
Because
I will.
I've heard when they say I'm fine, like that, it means something different.
Okay, so when she's like, I'm fine, it's like, I am not fine.
Maybe. We will see.
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't spend a lot of time
At
You
this
just said you
point-
read a book about it.
At this point, Lamont has come back, and he kind of overhears your conversation. He says, I have lived for over 1,000 years. I still don't totally understand what women want. Don't even try, boys. And he continues walking to go back to get his stuff.
I read a book. It was actually fiction about that once. It was called that same thing. A man could hear the thoughts of women. It was very interesting. It's called What Women Want. So,
Okay,
well, let's just.
but I don't know what Lamont knows about anything about women. I've never seen him. I don't even think he's ever had a girlfriend.
You hear a squeaky voice going, yes, I have.
No.
I imagine
you see
right
the
at this
Katrina-
moment is when
the Katrina is standing it kind of at the doorway, and the Morgan steps in, and they converse for a few minutes as you guys are kind of having this conversation and gathering up all of the rest of your things. And Morgan does come over to you, kind of assessing the group, and she does look at you, Clara, and with a fairly piercing gaze says, you will be careful. Yes?
I will do what I can.
What's wrong?
She said she's fine.
Morgan just smiles. Well, let's go for our second day. You are all ready? Yes?
Yes. Okay.
All right. And you, do you choose again today to rope up?
Yes.
Especially me. Although Claire's not thinking like that, but please tie me to someone.
You're like, but Abby is.
Can I kind of do a sense motive on that exchange to see if
Yeah.
I get that something is wrong with her?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there we go.
Oh man, was it a nat 20?
Another 18.
Oh no,
that's
that's
like
good.
my fifth 18.
I know,
tonight.
geez, like you're rolling really well.
So that's
tonight.
a 34.
Nice. Okay. Yes. After that exchange, you can definitely see that there is something wrong. This is not just a normal being tired.
So Az will come over and he will put his hands on her shoulders, and he'll he'll take real quick out a leaf out of his pouch, an herb. He's like, take this.
Okay.
What is that?
It is an herb. It will allow me to cast a spell to help. It will restore you.
I see. Sure.
And
And
then
I will eat the leaf.
you eat the leaf. It's like a mint leaf type thing.
Okay.
And so Az will then wave his hands over you. Nethys, god of magic, heal that which is broken. And then I will cast restoration at a 4th level, which will restore a drained condition.
Nice.
Wow.
Okay.
Nice.
I have one of those a day that I can do at the moment. Uh-oh.
Give me an Arcana check.
Oh.
That's a 29.
Okay. I will let you retcon this if you choose to.
Okay.
Magic works differently in the Boneyard. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So the spell worked before, but restoration of human life is not exactly magic that
The Boneyard will
the
be okay with.
Boneyard can handle. So
Wait, so my healing spells the whole time we're in the... Oh, shoot.
if you
Okay, so I'm still drained condition.
no, here this is what we're gonna do. It has an effect, but not to the potency of which it would normally. So instead of healing the drained condition, it does lower the level of exhaustion that she would have. So instead of drained one, you are now fatigued one.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's not a full restoration. It's a partial restoration.
I'll go for that.
We'll accept.
We shall accept that. Thank you. Yeah, magic.
Thank you.
With that Arcana check, you
Necromancy.
realize that type of magic that deals specifically with life is going to kind of be different.
So all necromantic spells will probably have a different effect, including every one of my healing spells. Oh, shnikes.
Yeah. That's why I told you guys don't get in a fight.
Okay.
We just don't do it. Okay.
All right. So I'll use that, and I use that spell. Mm-hmm. That was lacked the potency I would expect.
She looks the same.
And Lamond just kind of...
I do feel a little better.
Lamond comes forward and says, your spell, it didn't work the right way.
No.
Morgan? She turns around. She's like,
He's like, this is all I can do.
pretty much. She's like, what is happening?
This is a plane of death, and that was a magic of life. And the two don't work in the same spheres. We are, as you could say, drained of life energy here. And so I do not have as much to pull on.
Morgan just nods and says, yes, you all right?
He turns and looks at everyone. Don't get hurt.
Lamont nods and says, that's half of what I do.
Morrigan. He turns to Lamont real quick. That would only be magic involved with healing, with life energy. So a fireball works fine.
And you see Lamont kind of like,
but
okay, good.
you see as
Well, I'm good then. The rest of you stay out of range.
Yeah, pretty much.
But as looking extremely concerned and like, will wounds heal here?
At a slower rate.
So even my medical training is less effective.
This is not a realm meant for the living.
Okay, let's get going now. Okay, let's move.
Yep.
Okay, so you begin on day 2.
Clara, didn't you say that you had a spell that might help with travel?
Yes, I do.
I didn't take my spell today, but I know there's one that'll make your overland travel take you farther on a day. Because Az is completely freaked out.
That one.
Az is now completely freaked out.
I do have freedom of movement, but that one. Yeah.
I don't think that has the same
No, I
effect.
don't think that'll
It's
do anything.
Wanderer's Guide.
Yeah, that makes it so it's a direct route from
Yes.
where you are to where you're going, but you're already
But
on the
we
death
have
path.
to travel on the bone paths.
Yeah, you
here.
have to travel on the dead roads, otherwise
I
you will
will-
be lost.
I
in
will
this.
find that for the next day of travel.
Okay.
But it does make difficult terrain by half.
It does. But I think
This
the
isn't
road-
technically difficult terrain though. Like the terrain itself it's just a road.
That's more
Made
the
of
conditions
bone,
around
but it's-
us.
Just a road. It's been traveled often and by many things, so it's worn down.
Right. So Clara does look a little more like less heavy, but still rather
Like pulled in and
less perky and just more solemn.
Yeah.
okay. A little more introspective.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very different from normal, where she's always trying to help people, just smooth situations over. She's just very inward and solemn.
Okay. Okay. As the day progresses, the Morgan once again doesn't say much as you are all walking. Lamond kind of chitter chatters in the back about random things and little stories, trying to keep Flint occupied as you're all walking together. And the time does move. Is there anything you want to accomplish on this day of travel?
Yes. While we're walking, Az is going to just kind of try and get the Morgan's attention. Morrigan, I have a question for you. And he's going to reach into his bag of holding and pull out the soul crystal.
Okay.
In the middle of the Boneyard.
Not expect that.
No, I did not. Okay.
Is there a reaction when I
you
pull this out?
There is. And for the Morgan is quite dramatic. For a normal person, probably not as dramatic. It'd be a slight pause, like hesitation. But for her, this is tantamount to her stopping and gaping with open mouth and hands out, like. But she turns.
Mom and Dad walk into the room and find the kid with a Sharpie on writing on the wall.
You should pull from your life right there. Seriously,
a lot of it.
Yeah, three of 4 walls, a lot of bit with a jumbo Sharpie marker, a lot of bit.
Jumbo.
Not that
And
was
on
an
the
experience that we had.
Man.
But yeah, so he pulls it out, kind of looking at the reaction. Also, does the stone react? Like, he's wondering, does the stone itself react to being in the Boneyard?
The stone, yes, it would warm.
Okay.
The souls inside of it would, it's almost like it would be a reactionary thing. Like the stone itself is warming to the energies within the space itself, because in the bag of holding, it's in its own dimension. So it's not actually been touched by the Boneyard magic yet, but
Out here.
as soon as it comes out, it's right there.
And as will is kind of hold it out towards the Morgan. Anna and I had not yet had a chance to release these souls, and I was hoping to keep the crystal for study, since this is what Kuth Waldwin is using. I wanted to find a better way to break them more easily. Can you release them?
She reaches out and takes it from you. And as soon as she touches it, it goes pure white. All the blue comes out of it completely. And there's a rush of energy that just straight out of the top. And then she just looks at you and says, "Are there more?"
I think that was the last one we had. I think Anna and I dealt with all the
You
rest
guys
of them.
smashed all the rest of them.
That was the last one. We recovered these from a night hag recently. As I said, it was a lot of work for us to release them. We couldn't do it like that. It was a lot of work. So thank you for doing that.
She looks at it for another moment and then hands it back to you and says, "It is just a gem. It is just a stone now."
How does this hold them? He is using this to power his machines, and I thought that if I could find a way to easily shatter, we would be able to destroy his automatons more easily, is my hope. And so he puts it back in his bag. Because honestly, even though it doesn't have any souls in it, if he can find the vibrational resonance or something like that, like, there's a lot of ideas he wants to have on how can we break these easily.
Moment of pure transparency. That's a your story arc thing. So I have no idea how you would do it.
I don't either.
That is your
Okay, I'm like, I
problem.
can come up with a thing if you would like me to come up with a
No,
thing.
he just wanted her to release the souls.
Okay. I'm like, because you want me to start messing with your story arc, I can. Okay. But she just kind of, you can see that there is a simmering fury underneath. And she says, I will go to Pharasma. And I will discuss with her what can be done.
I'm sure she knows about these ones. This is a whole thing we're doing. You didn't know.
This is not something that was communicated?
Oh. My apologies for breaking it so abruptly.
And she just kind of turns around and starts walking.
Anna had a similar reaction.
And kind of over her shoulder, Morgan says, yes, I imagine she would. And it's still like that anger is still sitting right
And
there.
now as he's kind of just walking, kind of that swaying the arms of like, I'm going to be quiet now.
Like angrily, he's like,
No.
Mommy's angry.
Keep walking.
cool. Okay, and with that, we are going to take a really short break.
Yes.
We're just going to take a 5-minute break. We will be right back to continue our exploits into the Boneyard. See you guys in just a couple of minutes. Welcome back, and thank you so much for the raid, Uber Geek Media. Hold on, I'm trying to pull up my thing. I'm gonna pull out my thing.
So,
Are you sure they rated
It
us?
says that he did. Uber Geek, are you there, buddy? So I don't know what it is, but you always come.
You always rate us when we're on a break. Oh, and you guys, Mama Belle is in the room.
Mama Belle.
Say hi to Mama Belle. Hi, Mama Belle.
Is she?
Yeah,
Hi.
Oh, there she is.
we love to see Mama Belle. Steve was out of town for Easter Sunday. Oh.
Stardew Valley. Never played it.
Ooh, what is Stardew Valley?
Is that a computer or console game?
I don't know. I don't play console games, so I have no idea.
You can now.
I can now because we got a Switch.
Ooh.
Except we got like Power Rangers and Ring Fit and Just Dance. And then we have like the old like the membership or whatever, so we can play all the old school games.
So
But,
I'm playing Zelda Ocarina of Time.
yeah. We were gonna get
That's my sister's favorite.
we were gonna get
Wait, no, Wind Waker is. Sorry.
Breath of the Wild or Breath of the Sea or
Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild. Breath of the something. There's some breathing happening.
But
That's the only game I have, and I love it.
Yeah, well, we decided not
Yeah,
to
kids love
because
watching
we wanted to focus more on, we wanted to spend the money that we had to spend on games on like multiplayer games.
Makes sense.
We have many of the chillins, even though they scream and shout at each other when one wins and the other one loses.
My 2-year-old, whenever it rains in the game Breath of the Wild, she goes, "Rain, rain, go away."
That is really cute.
It's so cute. And
That
it's
is adorable.
every time it rains, especially when there's lightning and it like tries to strike you. She say, "Mommy, run! Mommy, run!"
That is
It's
so
adorable.
cute. Well, I've been sitting reading, and then Weston will be playing, sitting next to me, and I'm just like, oh, this is so fun. I feel so wholesome.
there's a big nostalgia factor for me.
Yeah.
It's one of the games I owned on the Nintendo 64. I bought with my own money from mowing lawns.
So fun. All right. So getting back into the session, just as a reminder to our viewers tonight, you can use your channel points that you get by being a follower or subscriber of the channel, as well as hanging out and gaining those cool channel points. You can use those to cash in for hero points, which gives a free D20 reroll to any of our heroes, or you can use those channel points as a villain point, which will give me a reroll on a D20 at any point in the
We could
game.
desperately use, hero points.
Yes, they are in currently the Boneyard, which is the kind of spiritual realm of Pharasma, who is the lady over death and judgment. And it is not necessarily a good place
we're
for
in the
these people to
underworld.
be. Yeah, they're in the underworld, and it has kind of been hard on them.
I love so much though that the Psychopops, a group of them, look like the Day of the Dead iconography. I think that's just so.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's such a great use of that.
The
Generally,
imagery.
Underworld is always gruesome, and I love that brings a lightness
Yeah.
to this path of death that I think is awesome.
Yeah, because it's not necessarily bad.
Nope.
It's just what it is. Like it's a fully neutral plane, is not good nor evil. Pharasma is actually the one that kind of makes the judgments and sends them to their places of rest, to the good or evil planes, which is fun. Okay, so we are into day 2, and as just asked the Morrigan, who is the kind of the guide here in the Boneyard, about the gems, the soul stones.
Got quite a reaction out of her.
Yeah.
As you all continue down the path, as yesterday you saw in the mists that are on either side of the road itself, you saw figures and motion and hands reaching out in your periphery. Today it's slightly different. Every once in a while, instead of the movement of a hand, you hear the whisper it's not totally coherent. You can't fully understand what's being said, but the whispered voices of people reach your ears, all of you. And it's quiet and off in the distance and overlapping multiple voices, and it comes in and out as you walk. It's slowly, because sorry, I did not expect that sound. It slowly begins to become a drone almost in your mind, but every once in a while you'll hear a name, a voice specific that seems familiar to you in some way, possibly someone you might know, but you can't be sure. There's no way to know for certain who's in the mist waiting on the other side. As you continue forward, you do get to a little bit of a resting point. It's a larger intersection of the dead roads, and the Morgan turns to you and says, "Stop here, eat. We will be continuing soon, but you must rest, and then we will continue." And she continues on the trail as you guys kind of stop and rest for a moment. And Lamond immediately sits down and he pulls out his bag again and is like pulling out this very little food that he has, foodstuffs that he has left, and then kind of looks at Az and says, "Did you happen to prepare food? Because I didn't."
Yes. Let me assist you with that. And so Az will do his second level. Let's see. Which creates enough food for 6 medium creatures for one day.
Okay, cool.
Is what it makes. So I will cast that, and it'll make enough food for all of us for the entire day.
Woo!
And then, Dusty, anyone? And I can also use create water and fill everyone's canteens and stuff like that.
Yeah, let's just... Lamond's like, yep.
Chop her off.
Okay, Clara, how are you feeling?
She's still very somber. She's eating, but just enough to like satisfy the hunger.
Mm-hmm.
Not really enough to say she's eaten a lot, like enough.
Mm-hmm. And what? Hold on, just 1 second. What does Clara think she might be hearing in the mist?
She thinks she hears her miscarriages from her babies that she lost. And at least that's what she's imagining.
Mm-hmm.
And fallen comrades for the war or the army she was in. And her parents, just all the people she's lost. It's weighing heavy on her.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Flint, same question.
He's not quite sure, of course, but he feels that he's getting some whispers from his wife. And also his parents as well. Maybe some of his siblings, which is kind of confusing to him at the same time, because as far as he knows, some of them are still alive, but he's still getting, of course, he's not sure whose voice it is, but so it's kind of dragging him down a little bit. But at the same time, I think he's very worried about Clara because he's been walking behind her and he's noticed there's not that urgent step in her step. Mm-hmm. So I think a lot of even though he's hearing all these things, he's focused on Clara and trying to figure out, especially the talk that Az had with him earlier, where she said she was fine, but she's not fine.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of weird for Flint, because it's like, well, of course she's always fine.
Mm-hmm.
But now that that's been brought up, he's like, maybe she's not. Maybe there is something going on.
Okay. Az
actually he hears the voices, but has no connection to them. He's had so few people in his life that he's actually been connected to, that, and he doesn't know anyone that he's actually cared about that he actually thinks is dead.
Okay.
So he has no real connection to them, more of just a intellectual curiosity about the voices and where do they come from, what is the, and he's trying to figure it all out in his head, the whole situation, because the number of connections he's had has been so few, and he has no evidence that any of those individuals would be dead.
Okay.
There's no one dead that he cares about.
Okay. All right. Yes.
So, can I have a moment with Claire?
Yes.
And talk to her?
Yeah, no, go ahead.
So, during the little lunch break, he'll walk over to Clara and he'll be like, I know earlier you said you were fine. And as mentioned that sometimes, women say they're fine, but they're not fine. And I just, walking behind you, you just don't have that same step you normally have. So I guess, are you okay?
I miss those whom I've lost, and it weighs heavy on my heart.
Yeah, I didn't necessarily like that we could, we might see somebody. I would love to see my wife. And he pulls out his maul and he reaches to the bottom, goes to the end of it, and he unscrews this cap, and then he pulls out this wooden stick, and he hands it to Clara.
She kind of confused, holds it
So you know that when my wife was alive, that she was a cleaner. As we traveled, I worked with the mercenaries to do certain jobs, and she stayed in the taverns wherever we were staying, and to kind of help pay for things. She would work as a cleaner, as a janitor.
Mm-hmm.
That's the mop end that she would use. I carry it with me, and that's kind of why I call my maul Moppy. It helps me remember that she's with me in my hammer and the things that I do.
Clara's tearing up.
I know it's hard, and I know I was able to say goodbye to my wife, and I know through you were not able to give your piece, and I am sorry for that. But I hope that by just hearing their voice, maybe that it can bring some closure. But of course, we're not supposed to talk to them. But anyways, he reaches out and grabs the mop stick, and he just holds it for a second and just will be silent.
Clara will be silent with him. Some thoughts running through her head are, I was hoping I could finally say goodbye and come to terms with that loss. but now it just hurts like that all over again. Like the day she lost her husband.
Okay. As the little lunch break kind of